Okay, so just a warning, this video may be very difficult to listen to because I feel a little discombobulated um, because this is about the ninth take on trying to make this video. I have been physically ill trying to make this video. I almost passed out. I threw up. I know this sounds crazy. I know it's Joe Dispenza. Who doesn't love Joe? And, Tiffany Lynn's readings, who I'm always in alignment with, is glowing. And suddenly I come upon and I have my own reading and I have some shadowy stuff to share. And, I'm energetically feeling like I'm being attacked. I know this sounds crazy. In fact, my voice keeps drying up. Like I said, I got sick. I nearly passed out just a moment ago. I had this big, like, I'm going down kind of energy. So I don't know what's going on. I have checked and checked and checked. Is my assessment, is my reading correct? And I keep getting a yes. So I don't know. Please, I am doing the best that I can. I'm just going to share what I got. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. But I want to say for all of Joe Dispenza fans, um, overall, he's doing very good work in the world. There's nothing consciously nefarious going on, but there is something going on that he is totally unaware of. And there is a little bit of critique from the universe about the teaching. So I'm sorry, I've just got to share what I have to share, and I have to get this like out so I can finish this. So, yeah, in just working on doing his reading the last day or so, because I sit with them, I sit with the people, I have been totally exhausted, which seems crazy because Joe, see, my voice is going to keep going out on me, and I apologize. Joe is totally connected to and embodying this vital life force energy. Okay. Yeah. So he should be giving me lots of energy, but I think there's something surrounding him and using him. This is what I got that is likes what he's teaching to the people because it's to their benefit and doesn't want me pointing those things out. I'm just guessing here. I don't know. Please, I don't want the hate or comments coming through. Anyway, where do I start with Joe? So I'm just going to, yeah. So the archetype that I got for Joe was like the Caesar archetype. And the Caesar archetype is also known as the commander archetype. I'm sorry, my voice is going to go. The commander archetype is in the Myers-Briggs. It's the ENTJ, which just talks about this is a very extroverted, charismatic, visionary type thinker and personality. And I would say, yes, that would be Joe. So he's the commander in pranic. I don't even know what I'm saying. I do want to go ahead. I'm just going to talk about his soul contract. So he definitely came here to do something big on in a big way, in a big expression. Okay. His core wound, I want to talk about his core wound, a spiritual core wound, is that of um, entering into a early childhood situation where perhaps his voice, this is kind of funny, his core wound is kind of what I'm experiencing. His voice and his self-expression was being suppressed or not heard. And this can look like, okay, you're born into a family and they want you to be a doctor, or they arrange a marriage for you, or they've laid out a particular route and you end up kind of following along, or they kind of make you. So his voice was dampened. So when he was ready, in order to, what happens with this karmic condition, in people trying to find their voice, they will like break out of jail, so to speak. And sometimes there are not so lawful or moral ways that they go out into the world and find their voice. Now, I'm not saying Joe has done anything immoral or illegal, but what I did get was that, I'm sorry, this is so difficult for me, is that some parts of his story, and I'm getting so dizzy right now, some parts of his story are either untrue or greatly exaggerated. Now, you know, is that bad? Not so much, but it's because he so desperately wanted to express his self that maybe, like we all do, kind of enhance our resumes. Okay, so I wanted to just get that out. That's what I got. I'm sorry, this is a very difficult reading. I'm getting dizzy. I don't know what's going on. So I will say, um, I know that I've seen some critique videos about Joe from people who have actually worked with him, and they said, oh, his credentials, he's not even this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so maybe some of that is true. Yeah. Do we care? No, not really. But sometimes we can tell in a field that something is just not completely true. So if you've ever picked up on that, maybe that's what you're picking up on. I know I pick up on something that I can't quite pinpoint. Anyway, I'm sorry, this is going to be so difficult. I don't know what's happening. Um, so his what his soul contract is telling me is that he is at ending one particular cycle of his spiritual evolution and transitioning into a new one, right? And so this lifetime, he came to do something big, to kind of share what he has learned on his spiritual journey with a great many people on a big stage. He's absolutely doing that. However, with with a great transition such as this, a spiritual initiation, there will always be some shadow that follows you in order to keep triggering you into that next level growth. So I think that's what I'm picking up on in this reading. And I just want to reiterate that whatever Joe is doing is wonderful. I'm not criticizing him or his work, but there are some critiques that I got that I got. I can't help it. Okay, so let's just move on. So in his soul contract, it definitely says, in order for him in this lifetime to find his voice, that he will absolutely experience physical difficulty and hardship that would take him a long time, that would catalyze this new shift in awareness, in understanding, and to kind of like create this Promethean archetypal lifetime. Okay, so his injury, physical injury, was kind of written in um, to his soul contract, his life plan, and that he would take that story and verbally express that as an experience, as a teaching model for other people. That's exactly what he did. That's what his chart tells me. Okay. Um, so the hexagram that I got that tells me what is his gift, what is his offering to the world, I got hexagram 48, and it's called the well. In Gene Key's terms, I'm sorry, this is such difficulty for me expressing this. This is not normal. In Gene Key's terms, it's the gift of resourcefulness. And the well means that he is teaching a great many people to go within and access their own inner well of wisdom and prana and connect to their own vital force energy. This is wonderful. The universe is very happy that Joe is doing this, that he teaches this. And I'm sorry, I'm going to have to read from my notes because this is such a difficult, I don't know what is happening. However, okay, so However, the universe has a little bit of critique saying what he teaches. Oh, and first of all, let me go back to the soul contract. In order to get his voice out, he may not be completely true with the story. And what I got was, yeah, he entered into this the Ramtha School of Enlightenment, not really a school of enlightenment, but this school, which is kind of a little bit of culty as well, where his voice was, he experienced another kind of suppression of his own voice. And so what he did, he he did take the teachings of other people and sources and resources and have packaged them as if they were his own. And the universe said, yeah, we have to give credit where credit is due. So that's a little bit of a, the universe wasn't happy with that, but that's okay. We all do it, right? So his gift to the world is this resourcefulness. But the critique that the hexagram says is that these teachings that he teaches are, I hate to use this word, but it's new age kind of, let's manifest the reality that we want in the world, and we can control our reality. We can do all these changes by manipulating our emotional body and creating this and doing this. And ultimately that's not how the cosmos wants to work, because it says you are using these teachings, he's using these teachings from a human-centered perspective and control. I want to control my universe. So if I just change my externally try to change something, change my emotion, like, oh, I'm gonna make myself feel happy now. I'm gonna do this. These are all external changes of the human-centered perspective ego that is trying to manipulate their environment for ego satisfaction, where the real spiritual journey is about, and doing this, these teachings kind of keeps adding on images and I'm special, I'm in control of the universe. And actually, the real spiritual journey is about taking everything off and surrendering and realizing you're not in control, and that um, you can't just pretend emotions. You have to dig in there and heal it and all that sort of stuff. So that's where there's a little bit of critique from the universe. We'll get to the Kundalini business in a second. And also, the critique is he is setting himself up as a leader of universal or cosmic truths, but they are taught from a human-centered position. So he's like, yeah, but what I just explained. He is, however, heart-centered and connected to the source of life. So two things are happening. He's really on his path, transitioning into a new spiritual evolution, but still ego, like for all of us, is got a hold of him, right? And particularly being this big personality that wants to go out there and give to people and say, you can control your reality, you can manifest this, you can heal yourself. And according to the I Ching, the universe says, this is the human mind thinking it control its reality, when in reality, you have to work. Humans are meant to work interdependent with the invisible world. And so his teachings are very much, it's all about us. Humans are special. We can, control. So, okay, I've said that a million times. So that's where there's a critique from the universe. Okay. Yeah, so let's just move on and get this over with, because I'm dying here and I'm sure you are too. Um, I'm going to move into the senses. When I checked in with his senses, at the base chakra, I got, and this is where I got the Caesar archetype. I saw a fig leaf in his lower regions, and I saw like a Caesar thing around his head. And what that was telling me was that number one, he's taken on in this lifetime the Caesar archetype, but also there's a little bit of hiding that's stemming from that survival instinct coming from his core wound. So a little bit of hiding in his nether regions. No big deal. However, the Caesar archetype also shows it's a good thing that he's totally devoted to this path of God and spirituality. In his sacral area, which is more relationships and emotions, I tasted like a cheesecake, but at the same time, something else going on. A cheesecake, which is warm and delicious. He's good interpersonal skills and has reverence for emotions. But also, there is a snake, and a snake was coming out of his and that I'm getting hit right now with energy. I'm sorry, I have to tell you this. This has to do with his teachings, particularly with Kundalini. I'm just going to do an aside here. What I got was the universe is not happy, does not approve of utilizing or trying to awaken Kundalini using his methods, because this is a force that is not meant to be awakened or aroused in people's consciousness that are not ready. Because what this does when you arouse this force of Kundalini is like a huge creative force. And it's meant to awaken when it's ready, when your consciousness is ready, when your heart is ready, when your soul is ready. And the readiness is, I am ready to return to God. That's when Kundalini is meant to awaken. However, when you're using Kundalini and forcing it through all this pranic work, breath work, I'm having a difficult time. When you're forcing this force to awaken in a consciousness, and particularly an ego-dominated, human-centered human whose consciousness and nervous system is not ready, this creates a lot of damage, psychosis, but also it's very attractive to the astral world and the reptilian, this demonic reptilian world, and they love it. And this is the force that I feel like, sorry, truth is coming through, is blocking me right now, because what I saw and what I got in my reading was that, yes, indeed, there's this astral reptilian force that loves what Joe is doing, activating, awakening people's Kundalini, at least, even if just for a moment, because that creative force is fuel for them. They love it. And then they love to see people crash after, when you have a high and you have a low. Here goes my voice. And then it creates all this emotional stuff and longing, and all kinds of stuff comes up. I mean, this is what the reptilian force feeds on. And what I saw and got confirmed is that this reptilian force is not manipulating Joe. He is totally unaware, but utilizing Joe. And that's why I saw a snake coming out of his sacral area. They're using what he's teaching to get to the people that are not ready. And they are feeding off of this energy in souls that are not ready to use it. Okay. Okay, I've said it. Now let me be. So this is where the universe is also critiquing, or any system like the CAT, Kundalini awakening process, all these teachers that are trying to, we use Kundalini so that we can manifest the cars and the things that we want in life. No, that's not what she's meant to do. Okay. So that was the snake that I saw coming out of his sacral. And it's not to say that he's a snake, but it's because he's being used to get to other people. But overall, his sacral area is fine because he is in touch with the emotional body and he's in touch with his heart and he has good connections and relations with people. Okay. As far as his the site, what I saw, solar plexus, um, I saw a beautiful like Hawaiian lei being placed on his head. And this just is a symbol meaning that he's profoundly connected to the life force. In his heart, though, even though he has heart coherence, when I went to touch, I felt a reptile type scale, reptilian scale. No, please don't take this the wrong way. It means that there's a protective layer around it, and I don't think it doesn't relate to the reptilian force, negative force. It was just an image that I got that his heart, this is that reptilian, oh yeah, the reptilian layer, meaning it's in transformation. Okay, it's shedding its skin, and it's a protective layer. It's got anti venom, which keeps, you know, all of his critics, such as myself, he has the ability for that stuff to bounce off of him. This is also the Caesar archetype that all of his critics, he could care less. Everything bounced off of his heart. So he has like anti-venom on there, but also he's in transformation. Um, yeah, so the heart is protected. Okay, what else? The sound that I got for his self-expression was like a trumpet, a clarion trumpet, like they do in the military in the morning to wake people up. And at the same time, I also heard the Bugle Boy song, that very fun song. So what he is, he's trumpeting his self-expression. He's out there trumpeting, clarion call to the people. And he's also having a lot of fun with it. Okay. So that's what I got. Um, I'm absolutely losing my mind here. I am dizzy and having a very difficult time. I don't know what the hell is going on. There's more for me to tell you, but I just want to say overall, Joe's teachings are fine, although not fully 100% Cosmos approved. But at the level that he's teaching to the people, he is teaching self-empowerment, right? I can take self-responsibility. I think that's a better word, self-responsibility. But at the same time, we shouldn't be trying to control and uh, manipulate our universe. But I could take self-responsibility for my own path, my own emotions. I can heal myself by looking within. The universe is very, very happy about this, and that he's affecting so many people to take them out of, this environment that we're in is so like damaging. We're not good enough. We're just slaves. He is giving people self-empowerment, which is a beautiful thing. The cosmos is very happy with this. Okay. I think this video is going to be long enough. I don't even know where I'm at. Um, what I got for his calibration, spiritual calibration, he's at 500, this is love. He's coming into the unity or the love phase. Obviously, he's working with heart coherence, right? And this is it's a transition phase. It's a revelatory, um, transformational process where you learn to have reverence for emotions. Your life view is sort of benign, things roll off your back. Your God view is loving. I see a loving God. The universe is loving. However, it's obviously not an emotional loving. It's that more unconditional, universal type love. And this is, yeah. So there you go. That's where he's at. And He does have, so he is a galactic soul who has lived many lives here. He does have, this is where I got the information. Does he have some negative attachments? Yes. Are they are they affecting his followers in a negative way? Yes. And this is where I got he's not being manipulated. He's being used. Okay, he's being a vessel for the Kundalini teachings. The Kundalini, and this is my answer and question session. Kundalini teachings and practices are Cosmos approved? No. Dangerous when consciousness is not ready? Yes. Kundalini will awaken when consciousness and heart want to return to God? Yes. Kundalini arousal in an unprepared um, body will attract negative astral beings? Yes. Kundalini in a nervous system that is not ready can be damaging? Yes. So this is where some of the teachings are not fully supported. Okay, I think that's all I can do on this reading. Overall, Joe is fulfilling his soul contract. He's doing a lot of good in the world, but at the same time, because of this particular lifetime, you can do good works, and then there's still going to be something, there's going to be a big lesson that you're learning when it's an initiatory transformational lifetime, one level of soul consciousness to the next. Okay, but overall, Joe is doing great things. Okay, till next time.